In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on January 27, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Memphis Grizzlies versus New York Knicks. Memphis is set to pursue its 3rd consecutive victory on the road as they head to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks on Monday night. This matchup promises excitement as both teams come into the contest with momentum. The Grizzlies are fresh off a commanding 125-103 win over the Utah Jazz, where they covered the spread as 11-point favorites. Meanwhile, the Knicks are riding high after a 143-120 triumph over the Sacramento Kings, covering the spread as 4.5-point favorites. Notably, Memphis holds a slight advantage in recent matchups, having gone 6-4 in its last 10 games against New York. Injury concerns could impact the lineups for both teams. The Grizzlies are monitoring the status of Jake LaRavia and Santi Aldama, both of whom are questionable for this game. On the other side, the Knicks are anxiously awaiting news on Josh Hart, who is dealing with knee soreness and is also listed as questionable. The Grizzlies have been impressive lately, stringing together 6 consecutive wins. The Knicks have been equally formidable, dismantling the Kings in their most recent outing to notch their 3rd straight victory. Over their last 5 games, the Knicks have secured 4 wins, while the Grizzlies have managed only a 3-3 split in their last 6 road games. New York holds a statistical edge in recent offensive performance, shooting over 49% from the field in their last 3 games, compared to Memphis, which has shot 48% in the same span. Additionally, the Knicks have been more efficient at the free throw line, hitting over 75% of their attempts, while demonstrating excellent ball movement and rebounding prowess, averaging more than 12 offensive rebounds per game. These factors provide them with valuable second-chance opportunities. Defensively, the Grizzlies face challenges on the road, allowing more than 118 points per game, which may make it difficult for them to contain the Knicks. With New York riding the momentum of a significant win on Saturday, they are well positioned to capitalize on Memphis's defensive struggles. So the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The scoring trend for both teams points towards a high-scoring affair. The Grizzlies have gone over the total in 6 of their last 8 games, while the Knicks have done so in 4 of their previous 7 contests. Memphis is a high-octane team, averaging 124 points per game and playing at the fastest pace in the league with 107.7 possessions per game. They will be facing a Knicks team that is relatively stingy at home, giving up 110 points per game. Conversely, the Knicks average 117 points per game and play at a slower pace, ranked 29th in the league with 100.4 possessions per game. They will go up against a Grizzlies defense that struggles on the road, surrendering 119 points per game. Historically, their matchups have also leaned towards high scores, with 2 of their last 3 meetings going over the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. New Orleans Pelicans versus Toronto Raptors. On Monday, the New Orleans Pelicans, currently holding a 12-34 record and sitting in 14th place in the Western Conference standings, will head north of the border to take on the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors have a 13-32 record, placing them 13th in the Eastern Conference. This matchup is between 2 teams struggling to secure a spot in the postseason, as both are currently outside the playoff picture looking in. The Pelicans suffered a significant loss on Saturday when they were routed by the Charlotte Hornets with a final score of 123-92. This defeat marked their 2nd consecutive loss. New Orleans remains deeply buried in the standings, trailing the 10th place team in the Western Conference by 11.5 games, with only the top 10 teams advancing to the postseason. Meanwhile, Toronto comes into this game with momentum, having convincingly defeated the Atlanta Hawks 117-94 on Saturday. The Raptors have now won 3 straight games and 5 of their last 6, positioning themselves just 5 5.5 games behind 10th place in the Eastern Conference. In terms of player availability, the Pelicans have officially ruled out Brandon Ingram for this contest, while DeJounte Murray's status remains questionable. On the other side, the Raptors are closely monitoring the health of several key players, including Ochai Agbaji, Jakob Poeltl, and Kelly Olynyk, all of whom are listed as questionable for Monday's game. The Pelicans appeared to be gaining a bit of momentum prior to their disappointing blowout loss to the Hornets. Conversely, the Raptors have experienced a resurgence, winning 5 of their past 6 games and dominating the Hawks in their most recent outing. The Pelicans season has been plagued by injuries, which have severely disrupted the team's ability to build consistency and chemistry. Notably, no Pelicans player has appeared in all 46 games this season, and 8 core rotation players have missed at least 13 games each. The Raptors have faced similar challenges with injuries but have managed to turn a corner. They are starting to get healthier and are performing at a high level recently. Toronto's 5-1 record over their last 6 games demonstrates their determination to make a strong push for the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference standings. Players like Scotty Barnes and R.J. Barrett have been consistent contributors for the Raptors this season, and when fully healthy, Toronto boasts one of the deepest rosters in the league. In the last meeting between these two teams, the Raptors emerged victorious with a commanding 26-point margin. Unfortunately for New Orleans, their performance this season has been inconsistent, particularly on the road, where they have struggled to find success. Given their recent struggles, the Pelicans are likely to come out with energy and determination to compensate for their poor showing against the Hornets. However, the Raptors have been playing excellent basketball over the past week and seem well poised to continue their strong form at home. Toronto has been trending in the right direction, performing better on both ends of the floor, so the Toronto Raptors to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Although the Pelicans' last 5 games have seen the total score finish over in 4 of them, the pace of this matchup will likely be dictated by the Raptors on their home court. Notably, the total has finished under in 4 of Toronto's last 6 games overall and in 4 of their last 5 home games. Toronto ranks only 19th in the league in scoring, while New Orleans fares even worse, sitting at 24th. The Raptors are ranked 22nd in offensive efficiency with a rating of 108.2, and the Pelicans lag further behind in 25th place, managing only 107. Defensively, the Pelicans have been among the NBA's worst teams, allowing opponents to score more than 115 points in 7 of their last 8 games. New Orleans has struggled to prevent teams from scoring in the paint and giving up open looks from beyond the arc. This defensive vulnerability could allow the Raptors to have a solid offensive performance in this matchup. On the other hand, Toronto has excelled defensively in recent games, holding 3 of their last 5 opponents under the 100-point mark. The Pelicans have consistently struggled on the road this season, as evidenced by their meager 92-point output in their recent loss to the Hornets. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Orlando Magic versus Miami Heat. The Hardwood will host a matchup of Southeast Division rivals hailing from the Sunshine State as the Orlando Magic square off against the Miami Heat in South Beach on Monday night. The Magic are coming off a home contest on Saturday night, where they faced the Detroit Pistons and secured a solid 121-113 victory. In doing so, Orlando successfully covered the spread as a 3.5-point favorite. Meanwhile, the Heat were on the road Saturday night, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. They emerged victorious with a 106-97 win, managing to cover the spread as 7-point favorites. Historically, the Heat hold the edge in the all-time regular season series between the two teams, leading with an 80-61 record. This includes their most recent encounter on December 26, 2024, where Miami eked out a narrow 89-88 road victory. The Orlando Magic have once again ruled out Gary Harris for this matchup. Additionally, Jalen Suggs and Goga Bitadze are both listed as questionable, leaving their availability uncertain. On the other side, the Miami Heat continue to navigate roster challenges as they remain without Josh Richardson. This game presents an intriguing dynamic as the Magic are gradually regaining health, whereas the Heat remain a bit of an enigma, particularly due to the ongoing drama surrounding Jimmy Butler. Butler's engagement has been inconsistent when he has been on the floor, raising questions about which version of the Heat will show up on game day. This matchup marks the 4th and final meeting between these division foes in the current season. So far, the Magic have have had the upper hand, boasting a 2-1 record both straight up and against the spread in the season series. The Heat will reintroduce Jimmy Butler following a team-imposed 2-game suspension, a development that adds intrigue to this contest. However, given the apparent strain in the relationship between Butler and the organization, it remains uncertain how impactful he will be in this game or how motivated he will feel to deliver. As tensions linger, Tyler Herro has stepped up admirably, taking on a leadership role with confidence. That said, Herro has struggled in games against Orlando this season, averaging a modest 19 points per contest. The Magic have also been highly effective in limiting Bam Adebayo's production, holding him to just 12 points and 6.7 rebounds per game over their previous 3 meetings. If the Magic can replicate their defensive strategy against these key players, they stand a strong chance of success. Entering this contest, Orlando has covered the spread in 3 of their last 5 games against Miami. The Magic have faced significant challenges recently due to injuries, which have taken a toll on their performance. However, with some players returning to the lineup, they are gradually regaining their footing and will be encouraged by their recent win over the Pistons. Similarly, the Heat have had their own struggles but managed to capitalize on an ice-cold Nets team in their last outing to secure a much-needed win. Despite this, it's difficult to place full confidence in either side given their respective circumstances. However, the Magic appear to have a slight edge and seem justified as favorites in this matchup, especially given the ongoing turmoil within the Heat organization. So the Orlando Magic money line is our full game side pick. Both teams enter this contest with a trend toward lower scoring games, as they have each stayed under the total in 6 of their last 10 games. The Magic had a streak of 3 consecutive unders before surpassing the total in a high-scoring game against Detroit, where their offense erupted. Despite that performance, Orlando has struggled offensively in recent weeks, averaging just 98 points per game over their last 10 outings. Notably, they scored 104 points or fewer in 9 of those contests. The Heat have fared slightly better offensively, averaging 109 points per game over their last 10. But the most recent meeting between these two teams saw both sides fail to reach 90 points. This highlights their shared tendency for slower-paced games, as both rank among the league's bottom 5 in tempo. The over has hit in 2 of the 3 matchups between these teams this season, with the games averaging a combined 208 points. However, their most recent clash totaled just 177 points. In terms of pace, Miami ranks 23rd in the league with 101 possessions per game, while Orlando sits at the very bottom, averaging just 99.8 possessions. Both teams also rank low in field goal attempts, with Orlando 29th overall at 85.3 attempts per game and Miami 22nd at 86.9. While the Magic recently had one of their highest scoring performances of the season, such offensive outbursts have been rare and inconsistent, as evidenced by their scoring 103 points or fewer in 8 of their last 11 games. Similarly, Miami has failed to exceed 107 points in 3 consecutive games and 5 of their last 7, with both teams trending toward the under in recent contests, each going under in 6 of their last 10, and a combined 48 games hitting the under this season. The low-scoring trend is likely to continue. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Denver Nuggets versus Chicago Bulls. The Denver Nuggets, currently holding a 28-17 record and positioned 4th in the Western Conference, are gearing up to face the Chicago Bulls, who sit at 19-27 and ranked 10th in the Eastern Conference. This matchup is scheduled to take place on January 27th at the United Center. The Nuggets are looking to bounce back after suffering a crushing 133-104 road loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves last Saturday. On the other hand, the Bulls are reeling from a 2-game losing streak, with their most recent setback being a 109-97 home loss to the Philadelphia 76ers on Saturday. Notably, this game marks the first of 2 meetings between these two teams this season. For this contest, the Nuggets are entering the game with their full roster available, which should give them an edge. Meanwhile, the Bulls will be missing Torrey Craig and Kobe White, as both have been ruled out once again. The Nuggets are likely feeling frustrated after their lackluster performance against the Timberwolves, especially considering their strong play leading up to that game. Conversely, the Bulls have been in a slump, losing momentum as they were soundly defeated by a 76ers team that was missing several key players. The Nuggets have consistently demonstrated their dominance throughout the season, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. Meanwhile, the Bulls have struggled to find stability, having dropped 7 of their last 8 games and showing weaknesses on both offense and defense. Denver's solid defensive capabilities, coupled with star players such as Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray performing at a high level, give them the tools to exploit the Bulls' defensive shortcomings. Additionally, Chicago has been inconsistent in their scoring efforts, and the Nuggets' ability to control the game's tempo should help them build and maintain a commanding lead. The Bulls' struggles at the free throw line, where they rank just 15th in the league, could further hinder their chances of making a meaningful comeback. Recent performances highlight the contrasting trajectories of these two teams' offenses. The Nuggets have been prolific, averaging 125 points across their last 5 games. Meanwhile, Chicago has managed only 104 points per game over their previous 4 outings. The assist-to-turnover ratio, an indicator of offensive efficiency, also tilts in Denver's favor as they rank 4th in the league with a 2.15 ratio, compared to Chicago's 13th place ranking with a 1.92 ratio. Given the Bulls' poor form over the past 2 weeks, it is challenging to build a convincing case for them. Therefore, the more reliable Nuggets are the clear choice to rebound on the road. So the Denver Nuggets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams have been defensively solid enough to keep the game's total scoring under control. Denver has allowed an average of 122 points over their last 3 games, while Chicago has given up 113 points per game in their previous 4 outings. Additionally, both squads excel in defending against perimeter shooting. The Bulls lead the league with an opposing 3-point percentage of just 33.8%, while the Nuggets rank 9th, allowing opponents to shoot 35.3% from beyond the arc. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.